Donald Trump leads the national polling average by 1.6%. But in this video, we're going to see what a Joe Biden best case scenario could look like in the 2024 presidential election. But before we do that, if you guys enjoy this kind of content, make sure to hit the like button down below and subscribe for more content just like this. So before we can predict state-by-state results, we first have to predict the popular vote. So this is currently my model for predicting the popular vote. What I do is I take the polling average and then I factor in the incumbency outperformance of 2.26%. I'm going to tell you how I get 2.26%. I take the average of the incumbency outperformance from 2020, 2012, and 2004. I average all those out, and that's how I get this number right here. And since Joe Biden, the Democrat, is the incumbent, it's D plus 2.26%. So right now, my projected popular vote would be Joe Biden is up by 0.66% in the popular vote. Then we factor in his best case scenario, and that bumps up the result 5 points, getting the popular vote D plus 5.66%. Then we go over to my prediction map, my latest prediction map. So this is my latest prediction map right over here. We're going to shift all these results by 5.66% to the left to see what a Joe Biden best case scenario in the 2024 election could look like. So first we're going to start off with the safe states for Joe Biden and Donald Trump. We're going to start with Joe Biden. Joe Biden would win California, Utah, Washington, Colorado, New Mexico, Hawaii, Illinois, Vermont, Connecticut, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, DC, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, New York, Maine at large, along with Maine's 1st congressional district. So that would put Joe Biden's safe electoral votes up to 198. Now we're going to go to Donald Trump's safe states in a Joe Biden best case scenario. He would win Utah, Idaho, Wyoming, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska at large, along with Nebraska's 1st and 3rd congressional districts, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, West Virginia, and Indiana by safe margins, putting his safe electoral votes to 93. So you can see how Joe Biden already starts with a major electoral advantage in his best case scenario. Now we're going to go to the likely states for both Donald Trump and Joe Biden. This time we're going to start with Donald Trump. He would win Montana, Kansas, Missouri, South Carolina, and Alaska by likely margins. Now these have been states that have been trending more to the left in recent years, and my model right now predicts that they're just really above the safe margin, and when we shift these results 5.66% to the left, they would become likely margins for the former president. Now we're going to go to the likely margins for Joe Biden. He would win Michigan, Pennsylvania, Virginia, New Hampshire, and Minnesota by likely margins. Now, Minnesota, Virginia, and New Hampshire were all states that Joe Biden did win by likely margins in the 2020 election. Now, polling out of those states have shown that Donald Trump is very close. And as of right now, I have all 3 of those states as lean margins, but then when we put in Joe Biden's best case scenario, they get bumped up to likely margins for Joe Biden. And then with Michigan and Pennsylvania, Michigan was a state that Joe Biden won by 3 points in 2020. When we put in that 5-point outperformance for him, this would be bumped up to a 9-point win, and Pennsylvania would be bumped up to a 6-point win. Now we're going to go to the lean states for Joe Biden and Donald Trump under a best case scenario for him. We're going to start with Joe Biden this time. Joe Biden would win Nevada and Arizona by lean margins. These were both states that Joe Biden won in 2020. Arizona, Joe Biden nearly won by under a point, and Nevada, he won by 2.4%. Now, the reason why I have Nevada as a lean state and not a likely state is because polling out of Nevada is showing that Trump is up by 6 points, which is a lot in Nevada, considering Nevada has been a very Democratic state for a long time. So that is the reason why I have these as lean Democrat states and not likely Democrat states. Then we're going to go to the Republicans. Now, even under a best case scenario for Joe Biden, Donald Trump would still win Iowa and Ohio by lean margins. These have been states that have been trending hard to the right in recent years, and it really does not look like it's going to stop. Right now, Donald Trump leads in the polling in Ohio by 9 points, and even when you put in that 5-point advantage for Joe Biden, it would only get bumped down to a 4-point win for Donald Trump, which would still be a lean margin. And also Iowa is showing that Donald Trump is up big, and that's why I have these two as lean margins for the former president. Now we're going to go to the tilt states for Donald Trump and Joe Biden. This time we're going to start with Donald Trump. Donald Trump would win Texas and Florida by tilt margins in a Joe Biden best case scenario. Now, Florida has been a state that has been trending hard to the right. Florida elected their incumbent Republican senator by 19 points in 2022. And even under a Joe Biden best case scenario, he would still lose because right now Donald Trump is up by 9 points in Florida. And then also in Texas, Donald Trump is up by 9 or 10 points in Texas. And Texas is a state that has been trending more Democratic in recent years, but because of Republicans' gains in the Rio Grande Valley, that is why Texas would still stay in the Republican column, even under a Joe Biden best case scenario. I also forgot to put Wisconsin in the lean column for Joe Biden under his best case scenario. Now, Wisconsin has been a state that has been very competitive in recent elections. Joe Biden only won the state by under a point. And right now I have Donald Trump winning the state, but then when we put in Joe Biden's outperformance of 5 points, this would be brought up to a lean margin for Joe Biden. Now we're going to go to the tilt states for Joe Biden. Joe Biden would win Nebraska second by a tilt margin. Now, right now I have Donald Trump winning Nebraska second, but under a best case scenario, this would also go for Joe Biden. Then we also have North Carolina. North Carolina has been a battleground state for a long time, but it has had a consistent record of electing Republicans. In 2016 and in 2020, North Carolina went for Donald Trump. But under a Joe Biden best case scenario, he could probably win North Carolina. And then the other state that I have as a tilt state for Joe Biden is Georgia. Georgia was a state that Joe Biden won by under a point in 2020, but the black community has been shifting hard to the right in recent years. And right now the polls in Georgia have shown that Donald Trump is up by 4 to 5 points. But under a best case scenario for Joe Biden, Georgia could narrowly go to Biden. Now, the last characterization that I have as a tilt margin for Biden is Maine's 2nd District. Maine's 2nd District is a district that Donald Trump narrowly won in 2020. Maine's 2nd District has been a competitive district for a long time. Now, this district actually elected Jared Golden, a Democrat, in 2020, and Donald Trump, the Republican, in 2020. So it's really a split ticket district, and if Joe Biden did as well as Jared Golden in the district, I could see him winning. Now, this district is one that really could go either way, but in a best case scenario, I could possibly see Joe Biden winning Maine's 2nd District by a tilt margin. So there you have it. In a best case scenario for Joe Biden would win 320 electoral votes to Donald Trump's 218 electoral votes. If you guys enjoyed this video, please hit the like button down below and subscribe. Comment your thoughts or suggestions in the comment section down below. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.